Okay, I'm on my couch today. Because I'm tired. So today's been interesting. I've been on the phone with more parents today than any other day. They are, the kids are trying. God bless them, they're trying. The parents are trying. Everybody's trying to do it right. They're trying to do it well. It's hard because for many it's new. At school, we already have everything all set up and ready to go. They go home and they try to use their home computer. Can't figure out why when I on this shortcut it doesn't automatically log me in like it does at school. So it's because they're not syncing their Google Chrome browser, and I have walked a ton of people through that to the point where I don't even have to look at the computer. Reminds me when I was in college, I used to give that's Eva. She's the work at home office manager. She's in charge. When I was in college, back in the 90s, wow, late 90s, I graduated college in 2000, undergrad. I worked for a company doing dial-up support. This was pre-DSL, and that's aging me, right? I'm going to put this up here. So I did dial-up support, and it's one of those things where you do the same thing over and over and over again. That you stop having to look at the computer to know which step comes next. That's where I'm at now. I'm like, okay, did you see the circle? Is your name in it? Click on it. Do you see next? Click next. Say, got it. It's like, wow, it's like back in college again. So that's how I earned a living back then. And that's how I'm earning a living now. So mostly it's been helping parents get kids online today. Not a lot of curriculum stuff today because everybody's been sort of quiet. So either they're getting the hang of it or they're just all burning out. I don't know where they're at. May have to email some teachers tomorrow and just say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing? Are you hanging in there? Is there anything I can do for you today? I did help a special ed teacher today. So there's that. So I did promise yesterday during our chat that I would tell you about Dreambox. So yesterday we talked about Lexia. Today we're going to talk about Dreambox. Now, Dreambox is interesting because Dreambox is a program I brought to the district, but not because I researched and found it. So way back in 2016, when I started in my district, there was a principal that started one of the elementary schools the same year as me. And I would go drop in and visit him. Hey, how's it going? What can I do? Da-da. And we were using Manga High at the time at all levels, not just elementary. And he's like, I really don't like this Manga High. That was pre-me, so I didn't know much about it at the time. He goes, I don't like this. I don't think it's appropriate for my elementary students, etc., etc. I said, well, do you know a program? You want me to see if I can pilot something with your teachers, with our district that we don't use now? What's the deal? What do you want? So he told me about Dreambox. So we launched it, I think, with just the 3rd and 4th grade that year. And it had mixed reviews. They had some like, some didn't. So we said, well, should we keep it? And they were all like, yeah, we want to keep it. Then the following year we did 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. And then the 4th grade wasn't using it as much. And I tried to pilot that year with one of the 1st grade classes. Money-wise, it's very expensive. And we had a meeting, and they said, okay, let's give the 1st graders are making, because it tells you how much growth. The 1st graders are 50% growth in math constantly, consistently through the whole year. And the 4th grade was getting I don't know, I want to say 5-10%. And the usage was low. And so you have to make decisions because things cost money. So we're like, well, let's try it with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd next year and not 4th. And then that went over like a lead balloon when the year started. Now, just long story short, they all have it now, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So, and they've been using it, and the kids do love it. And a lot of times it's interesting because the kids that absolutely love Lexia, they don't like Dreambox. But the kids that absolutely love Dreambox, they don't like Lexia. So I think it's sort of like one of those things that if you have a preference for one subject or the other. But Dreambox is interesting because it comes up, at least it's for the little guys. I don't know the middle school level or the algebra level yet. So it'll come up like a map of like a little town, and the kids have a little avatar, and the avatar visits all the little like shops in the town, and they can earn coins by doing the math stuff. And they can use the coins to buy costumes for their little avatar. It's adorable. So they're always trying to earn their coins so they can get new costumes for their avatars. But the kids it's interesting because when I was going to curriculum meetings every month, and I would ask the question I ask every time we have a curriculum meeting, because I was the technology side of the curriculum, and I would say, how's the technology going? How's it going with the tech? What can I do? Make it better, et cetera, et cetera. So it's interesting because when the second year we had Dreambox, the teachers are like, I can't believe this Dreambox thing. Every time we work on something now in the math curriculum, the kids will be like, we did that in Dreambox. So they would remember the stuff they were learning in Dreambox, and then they were able to like bring it back. So it doesn't follow everyday math, which is the curriculum we use. It doesn't follow it exactly. It doesn't hurt the kids to see things sometimes in advance. And it's cute because they have little digital abacuses that the kids learn how to use, and they have little challenges and sorting the circles into tens, and they're just like digital manipulatives, which also works out nice because the kids get really good at the trackpad. I know that sounds silly, like, well, why wouldn't they be? They're digital natives, but really no, there's a small motor skills involved in that. And if you're not aware, if you're not in education, and if you're not in education, I don't know why you're watching me, but hey, welcome anyway. If you're not in education, a lot of our testing's done on the computers now, and the kids fumble more with the technology than the content of the test, which is really sad because teachers a lot of times will assume that kids are already native to that, but honestly, the kids are more native to like their parents' cell phone or to an iPad. And I will sometimes sit with a first grader who might not have ever actually used a Chromebook before. This has happened because they'll come in later in the year after the kids have already been using them. And we'll get a new student. They're like, oh, the teacher will be like, they never used a Chromebook before. Can you come? And I actually have to train kids how to use Chromebooks in like first and second grade. So I'll sit with the kid, and they will, every time I say, click on whatever, they smack the screen with their finger. Well, of course they're smacking the screen with their finger. That's what they're used to doing. So we have to train them to use the trackpad. I try not to train them to use a mouse so much because the mouse isn't always going to be available, and they're more likely to use a Chromebook or a God, my face is breaking. Oh, sorry, I'm all distracted by myself. This being home all the time, I'm not in taking care of myself the way I normally do. I think we're all just so stressed out. We're like, something's got to give, and this is what's going to give, and I'm just not going to do my hair, and I'm not going to wear makeup, and I'm not going to, I had to cut my nails off today because I can't go to the nail. I don't know about you. I am just so like minimizing my life because I just need to concentrate 12 hours a day on tech support and helping teachers and helping parents, helping students. So anyway, I'm talking about Dreambox. So, so if you don't know, there's small motor skills involved. They have to learn how to like do the little pinch and do the little slide and 2 fingers and 1 finger and tap the left and then how to get it right. It's not, and we have something called typing agent, which I'll go over in the future, but they don't do that as much as they should. So they don't get the practice they need to get those small motor skills. So, people are, the screen time and etc. But you got to remember, they need these motor skills. Just like holding a pencil requires a motor skill. So give them 20 minutes a day on a program like that. They'll get better motor skills. I I worked with a kid, like, we had like 6 20-minute sessions over 6 weeks, and he was a pro by the end of the 6 weeks, first grade. Yeah, yeah. There you go. You're all set now. He was like showing it off to me how good he got at Battleship on Typing Agent. So, so Dreambox is just a great little program that helps to support math skills. It also is an adaptive program. So if you're not aware what adaptive programs do, these are really, when I research for programs now, I'll actually make sure they're adaptive, because nowadays the technology's there, so there's no reason for them not to be adaptive. Our NEWA testing is adaptive. So NWEA, everybody pronounces it different. I say NEWA, somebody else says NUIs or whatever. A NEWA test is a standardized test. And so the kids get their first question, and they answer that question. If they get that question right, the next question is just a little bit harder. And then the questions keep getting a little bit harder until they get them wrong, and then go super easy. So the kids that can actually say, "Oh, I must have got that one wrong because the next one was so easy," and then we tell them that's because you're so smart. But that is how an adaptive. So if you were to peek behind the curtain in Dreambox, you would see all the students take this placement test and puts them wherever they are in Dreambox. And then Dreambox, on their website, actually, I think it shows like a map of how this could work. Then Dreambox will give them an activity. And a lot of times the kids pick on the map where they're going to go. They get a little activity. Depending on what they do on the activity, they might go on to this track or they might go to this track. So if they end up on this track, how they do on this activity, they might go up on this track. They might go on that track. And then however they do here. So they map their own curriculum, basically, around what they can do. Getting a little bit more challenging each time. So this program designs itself around the needs of the student. It adapts to their needs, and it reports out their strengths and weaknesses. Then we go into the data, we can see, they're real strong on number sense, but not so strong on, word problems or whatever it is that they're not so strong on. And I'll tell you something, I've been looking at a lot of math data. Not just in this job, but my previous job. I spent my last year in my previous job as the math department head. I look at a lot of math data. And across the board, number sense. If I had to design a math curriculum, I don't think I want to, but if I had to design a math curriculum, I would be pounding that number sense to death, because that seems to be everybody's weakness. So there's something about number sense. Kids are just not getting it. So I see that in the NEWA testing. I see that with the Dreambox data. I've seen that in the past when we did scaled assessments for high school students. It's all levels. It seems to start from K and it goes all the way through till 12. And I think it's the number sense, the issues with their number sense, that makes math feel hard. Truly, I know when I say this, people argue, math is not hard. English is hard. Math has rules. I have a degree in English, and I've worked in very heavy math ladled jobs. I've played both sides of that coin. I'll tell you something. I could take a math class and practically sleep through it and have no problem understanding what was going on the day the final came along. So I just had to learn the rules. English has its own set of rules, and sometimes they don't even follow their own rules, and this whole area has another set of rules, and getting a writing degree was a great thing for me because I struggled with writing, but it forced me to have to become a better writer. Now I can write documents with a lot of confidence, but that came with a lot of training. So math I found easy. I love to write, I just don't find it easy to understand the English language. It has too many strange anomalies for me, not enough rules, not enough black and white. Design an HVAC system because they have rules, numbers. But anyway, I'm walking down memory lane. In Dreambox, though, if you can afford it, it's one of our more expensive programs. If you can afford it, it is a great math program. I hope if you decide to go with it, that your teachers definitely use it. I hate seeing it sit and not get used. Because I know the kids they love it, they benefit from it. They're doing a great job with it. But I have teachers who just refuse to use any screens ever. And it's honestly, they're not doing the kids any favors. I'm not saying I'm all about screen time, but they need a certain amount because they do live in the 21st century. They do take testing online. We have that expectation of them. There are great tools online. Just ignoring an entire internet of information is not doing the kids any favors because that's the world they're going to be working in and living in. And just because it's not the world we lived and worked in doesn't mean we should not allow them to experience it safely under our supervision. That's my soapbox part today. I can appreciate a good book offline, but I don't do everything offline. I certainly don't live my life offline. So hopefully, students are going to do this stuff whether or not we assign it. They're going to use the internet. So we should be there as a guide. Hey, that's a good idea. That's not such a good idea. So there's positive screen time. There's negative screen time. I hope the programs that I pick for the district promote positive screen time. There's learning involved. It's safe. Their information is protected. Versus, let me just sit here all day and watch YouTube. Whatever comes up, I'm watching. That could become there's positive YouTube and there's negative YouTube, right? It's just like TV. When I was little, we had 3 channels. Everybody watched those 3 channels. And I was the remote. And we watched whatever your parents wanted to watch. There was no Cartoon Network or any of that stuff. And they used to argue back then. Oh, the kids' brains are going to rot. Oh, this is not a good thing for them. Oh, cable TV is going to destroy America. Right? But there's good stuff on cable TV, and there's bad stuff on cable TV. If you sit around watching reality television all day, you're not really getting exposed to reality. I'll tell you that right now. If you're not familiar with reality TV, there's nothing real about reality TV. These are people who live these weird lives out there, and you go, wow, I'm so glad I'm not one of them. There's no reality in that. Reality TV would be like seeing me sit on the couch 12 hours I'm talking on the phone too much today. 12 hours a day waiting for an email on how to connect your Chrome browser to your school account. That's reality TV. Nobody wants to see that. And then there's positive TV. The Animal Channel has some great stuff. The History Channel a lot of times has great stuff, and a lot of times has some really out there stuff. National Geographic's great. If you watch that stuff all day long, you're going to learn some stuff. Same thing with the computer. If you sit and you watch garbage, that's my dog, you learn garbage. But if you sit and you, Eva, no. If you sit all day and do research and learn things, you get a positive experience in life. So let's not just say, oh, computers are not the answer. They're going to rot the kids' brains. They won't know how to interact with people. It's just a different way of interacting with people. It's just a different way. And I know there's research. There's research on both sides. I have news, folks. Just like I said, TV is a fad. It's going to go away. It is not a fad. And I know that because I have like a 67-inch TV sitting in here in my living room that's on most of the time. Mostly for background noise, but it's how I get my news, and it's not a fad. I have streaming services left and right to help me entertain me whenever I want on demand now. It's not a fad. TV's not going away. We can watch it on our phones, and we can watch it on our computers, and we can watch it on the device in which the TV was invented for. Internet's not a fad. Internet's not going away. Let's teach them how to use it right. Let's give them positive screen adventures to do. Let's not shelter them away from the world, because you know what? They gotta learn to live in the world. So that's, I know, another soapbox moment. So kids need to learn how to use a trackpad. They need to learn how to use a keyboard, and they need positive screen time, so that they don't just see the internet as a place to goof off. And now that we are at home doing distance learning, they are getting all kinds of screen time, and hopefully most of it is positive. I think teachers are assigning positive experiences online. Slowly but surely, we are getting things up and running like video conferencing, so that they can see their teachers again, face to face, but not face to face. It'll be an interesting week next week when all that stuff comes online. So again, we're considering Dreambox, which was the original intention of this video. It's a great little program. Now, I can't tell you, it does go all the way up to algebra. I have not experienced the higher levels yet. I've only done 1 through 4, but the 1 through 4, I can say the stuff, they're learning it, it's sticking, and it's popular with them. So, wonderful. Drop a note if you have any questions about it. Love y'all. Take care of each other. We're all in this together.